there, I am Svila Bekin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share and mash that subscribe button and ring the little belly thing so you're notified when new videos drop. You might be wondering what this video has to do with you out there in the lands of geekdom. So stick with me for a couple of minutes and you'll see it's very much you I am talking to. So, the Jewish holiday of Passover just ended. With the news there was another synagogue shooting. Yes, another one. In the words of Chris Rock, I thought it was Groundhog Day. So again, I'm sure you're saying to yourself, what does this have to do with me? Well, here's what it's got to do with you. We live in extremely polarized times. And that polarization has infected our dear fandom. Many of our beloved franchises are being pushed in a progressive direction, often at the cost of authenticity to those franchises and, I would say, good storytelling. There is a section of fans who are very upset that their objects of love are being used to push social messaging badly, whilst there's another section of fandom that rapidly cheers them on. If you haven't seen any of my videos before, I'll put my cards on the table, and I'm more on the traditionalist side than the progressive side. But that really doesn't matter, because there's one small area where extremism of both types, extremism of the left and the right, all agree. And they agree on this, that they just don't like Jews very much. So, I've always found this a bit weird. I've never really understood it at all, because being Jewish, I don't really see why we make people crazy. Look, I get it. Jews are kind of subtly, indefinably different, shall we say. And many of those Jewish stereotypes are really on the money. The Jewish guy from Family Guy, was it Morty Goldman? A pretty fair representation of a lot of people I know personally. But I don't understand what it is that makes people go crazy. So, thankfully, I haven't come across much right-wing extremism in fandom. Thank God for that. But I have on the other side, and there's this weird intersectional progressive alliance which has gone full tilt anti-Semitic in the last few years. In the UK, I've seen it building for a number of years. Just go through my Facebook feed, and you'll see the evolution of it. You see it build. And I want to stress, this is not a political video at all. Simply, the anti-Semitism I'm talking about has surprisingly come out of the left wings of politics rather than the right. But it could have so easily have come from the right. It's really grown shockingly with the election of an openly racist anti-Semite to the leader of the mainstream left-wing party in England, Labour, which the British version of the Democrats. And now in the US, you have people like Ilhan Omar and AOC pretty much on exactly the same page. And again, I want to stress, this isn't political at all. And if I was going to make a political statement, it'd probably be something like, all politicians, regardless of affiliation, should be stripped naked, particularly in the UK, should be stripped naked and shame-walked throughout the greatest cities in our lands, just like Cersei Lannister. Again, I think that will probably make for a better quality of politician and a better place to live in. My point is, however, that this type of bigotry is seeping into fandom, normally from the type of person who describes themselves as an anti-racist or an anti-fascist. Yeah, you're not. And it's weird. I had people like Pat Mills who created the British comic 2000 AD, which essentially taught me how to read, which is probably why I'm such a terrible reader, but who actually knew me personally. And he went full tilt anti-Semitic on my Facebook feed, posting stuff onto my feed, like not even tangentially, directly at me, and then refused to enter into. I thought he was just like got caught up in it and tried to engage him in some kind of conversation. No, utterly refused. And again, I want to point out, I knew Pat at one point. He visited my home in Israel, and now sadly he's got himself all worked up with his support of this socialist politician who has brought anti-Semitism into the mainstream. And he's cheered on by so many creators and people within fandom. Most of whom, I believe, are just trying to be good, moral people. but are instead becoming the same moronic sheep that happily waved Nazi flags in 1931. I don't know. Is racism from stupidity and ignorance better or worse than racism from racial hatred? The really weird thing is there's just no reasoning with people caught up in the grip of this madness. When the Jews of England protested the crazy rise in social acceptability of anti-Semitism, they were met with more anti-Semitism. Like, it magnifies, like, how were they, 20 times? It was crazy. And again, it was indistinguishable from the response the Jews in Germany got in the 1920s when they protested the rise of Hitler. The really strange thing, I think, is it's being fueled by people who are reacting to what they think is the rise of racism. So we have the absurdity of people being racist because they oppose racism. And the reason I'm talking to you is because it's fully infecting our fandom now. I posted a video last week talking about Captain Marvel and Brie Larson. And as I do when I talk about any controversial subject within fandom, I always preface it with saying this is just my opinion, and I go on to explain my opinion. And if you have a different opinion, and let's say you find Brie Larson charming and great as Captain Marvel, that's great. I just don't understand your point of view. I really would love somebody to explain what they like. But again, I'm not invalidating. My opinion doesn't invalidate yours in any way. So anyway, I posted this video, and then I got more than one. I got this diatribe against Gal Gadot and how she's, I don't know, like a baby killing monster because she's Israeli, and there was quite a lot of support for that out there, which I thought was a bit weird. The axis between hatred of Jews and hatred of Israel has been narrowing and narrowing, and is now pretty much non-existent. And you'll have people who have this racist outlook say that Jews are just saying this to stop what they call legitimate criticism of Israel. No. it's being used to shut down illegitimate criticism. If you say to somebody, "How many children have you murdered today?" That's not criticism. That's not a question. It's a statement. And virtually every anti-Israel meme I've seen, and I've seen them all, it is saying exactly that. So it's little wonder that when Big Finish put out a box set a few months ago for Torchwood, there was the use of the word Zionism as a alt-right dog whistle buzzword. The writer, Guy Adams, I think, who's a great writer, and I really recommend you check out his stuff, especially on Big Finish. I'm sure he thought he was actually reflecting a mindset which he both clearly has no idea about or understands at all, and reviles all at the same time. But in truth, he was propagating pure, unrelenting racism. That's how anti-Semitism has always worked. It takes a group comprised solely of Jews and starts to demonize them. It creates an environment where Jew hatred has become socially acceptable. And the fringes of society act upon that, and we have synagogue shootings. Or in my case, you have to stop buying Torchwood that Big Finish make, which I did the minute they dropped the Z-bomb. That's how emotive this has become. I simply will not buy any more Big Finish's Torchwood offerings again. But, that's small potatoes in the grand scheme of things. So, I'm not talking to these people. I'm not talking to the people who have this outlook, because they're just so ingrained in their hatred and hateful worldview. So, yeah, you're not gonna penetrate. So, this video is not for them, and probably they're fully triggered already and gone crazy. But if you're still listening, this video is for you. This environment of hatred that goes so quickly from rhetoric to violence to your neighbours being thrown into ovens. It's happened time and time and time again through history. And it takes a very special type of ignorance and arrogance to believe that we in the Western world in 2019 are immune from that. We're not. Again, if I went back in time 5 years and told Jews, any Jew, that the New York Times will be running a fully anti-Semitic cartoon, which they did this weekend, again, indistinguishable from the cartoons of the 20s and 30s, implying the American government was being covertly controlled by the evil Jews. If I told them that 95% of Labour supporting Jews, again, Labour is the UK version of the Democrats, were forced to flee their party, which they have been, and oh my God, they deny, like the people who support the Labour deny it just relentlessly, no matter what the reality is. If I told them that a sitting United States senator repeatedly, publicly stated in writing the most vile anti-Semitic tropes, it's all about the Benjamins, baby, and was then not condemned, but roundly protected by the rest of her party. If I told any of them that this has happened, they'll think I was crazy. And I think I'm crazy. I can't believe this is happening. But it all did happen, and it's happening right now. So here's what you can do about it. And I'm talking to you sane people about what you can do and I think you must do. You can say no. You can say no to strengthening this environment of the social acceptability of Jew hatred. You can call people out, and I know it's uncomfortable to do, when they post something on their social media that's anti-Semitic. As you would when they posted anything hateful towards any group, which again is just about everything that calls itself Israel criticism. It's designed by people who openly hate Jews, who want to kill Jews, to influence you to equally hate Jews. They used to say that Jews use Christian baby blood to make matzahs, these crackers that we use during Passover. Now they say Israeli soldiers indiscriminately shoot children. They say we harvest Palestinian organs. They say we have an apartheid state, an apartheid society. And they believe it! Regardless of how diametrically opposed to reality it is, when you walk down any street in Israel, go to any mall, any cinema, any hospital, you always see the same things. You see Jews and Muslim and Christian Arabs living and working together, all enjoying exactly the same rights, regardless of ethnicity, religion, sexual preference, skin color, everything. We all are equal here. And that's just the reality. I think deep down, we all love genre because we all love heroism. We all love personal heroism and we romance it to a certain extent. And here's your chance to be personally heroic and make a stand. When you see somebody posting something, you don't have to condemn them straight away. If they post something that's anti-Israel, just take the 2 minutes to look into it to see if it's a real genuine piece of criticism or you see if it's a piece of hateful nonsense. I'm saying I think we need to make that stand. I think we need to enact that personal heroism and make the world a better place. That's just my opinion on the matter, which I hope you take to heart. My name is Zvi Lebeck, and I am quite obviously the rabbi. See, Skullcat, the rabbi from another planet.